What's going on, White Line Agents? Colin here, and today is day number 10 of Let Me Read It For You series. And this one I'm reading for you is Three Clients in 30 Days by Krista Mashore. And today we are going to be talking about prospecting FSBOs, or for sale by owner, FSBO. If you ever hear somebody say FSBO, that's what we're talking about, for sale by owner. So last lesson, we were talking about knowing your neighborhood, finding the FSBOs, doing all that research. And so now we're going to talk about what happens when you find a FSBO. What do we do? Okay. Why FSBOs matter? Okay. FSBOs are waving giant red flags saying, I want to sell my house, for sale by owner, right? That's what they're doing. They're literally marketing, I want to sell it. And most of them are smarter than you. And they often think they're going to be saving money by avoiding realtor commissions. But most of them just really honestly end up frustrated because they're not marketing properly. Some of them do go online and find ways to market it online. Most of them just put a sign in the yard. But stats don't lie, guys. FSBOs typically net less, net meaning they take home less than if they listed their home with a realtor. And that's your opportunity, guys. So the FSBO mindset, you got to think about this, guys. And I laugh about it because I always think about my granddad. It's like, I know better than you and everything. So that was my granddad. And but they usually don't trust an agent, not yet. They believe they're saving money on commissions, but they don't realize what they're giving up by not paying somebody. They've probably already been hammered by wholesalers. Wholesalers are coming after them hardcore, and they figured out what that is. And they think they know the market better than you do. But you did your homework yesterday, and you are now a market expert in that area, right? So your job when talking to a FSBO person is to educate them, not to sell them. Okay, you're showing them options about investors and MLS listing exposure will bring them. Okay, so where do we find FSBOs? Well, if you're driving around your neighborhood, you should have seen a few FSBO signs. If not, you can check things like Zillow, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, any of those places where you can freely uh, advertise your property. And there's also FSBO specific websites like FSBO.com or ForSaleByOwner.com. And then also you want to check your local neighborhood groups. Like I told you, you should be in your next door. You should be on any Facebook groups. And there's usually forums like in Facebook and things like that that have for sale by owners. Okay. Now, the nice part about this is, guys, is you need to be casual, not pushy. Okay, that's the real deal. Okay, you need to be casual, not pushy. Because pushy is going to make them irritated because I'm pretty sure a lot of lesser trained and less smart realtors have already called them. And so it's your job to just be casual with it. Okay. And again, the big thing when you're talking to people is you want to approach them with curiosity. Okay. Not commission talk, not this. You just say, hey, what's going on? What's been happening? So some examples, guys, are, hey, I saw you were selling your house on your own. Are you open to talk about what investors are paying in that area? Oh, I've already talked to a bunch of, well, no, I'm not talking about wholesalers, and they may not know what a wholesaler is, and explain it to them. But I'm talking about legitimate investors. Hey, I'm just curious. If I brought you a buyer, would you be open to that? That's a great conversation starter, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But the whole thing is guys, here at White Line, we are different. We are investor trained. We know we're the investors brokerage, but we're not another wholesaler trying to lowball them. That's what's really important. You need to position yourself very different. We're not a wholesaler trying to lowball them. We're licensed and we can do a lot of different things. We can bring cash buyers. We can offer MLS exposure if that's a good fit. We can give them real time data, which is usually what they're missing. They're usually looking at what the BCAD told them or what Zillow told them. And guys, Zillow doesn't even trust Zillow. Like they screwed that whole thing up. So your estimate's crap. I don't want to hear it. So so there's a lot of different options that we can do here. Now earlier I said to you, it's like, hey, if I brought you a buyer, would you be interested? The reason why that's interesting, guys, is if you are doing a listing, like a normal listing, you met somebody, they're just doing a normal listing. You all know the answer is you fill out something called an exclusive right to sell. That means I am the only person that can sell this property. I'm the one and only. But if you remember back from when you went to school, there's another one called exclusive agency, which means if I bring you the buyer, then you will pay me as your listing agent, right? That's what we're going to do on this one. So a exclusive agency is what you want to talk to them about, but not right away, okay? But just so you know, if you list their property and they find a buyer before you do, you don't have to pay the commission. They get to keep their FSBO options alive. They can do all their stuff their own way. But if I do exclusive agency, let me list it, and if I bring the buyer to you, then that's how it's going to work, right? An exclusive right to sell, the other one, that's your traditional listing. That's the one where you really want an exclusive right to sell. But when you're dealing with FSBOs, you got to talk to them about exclusive agency. Let me list it. You can keep your stuff listed. Let me list it my way. If they call me and I bring them in, then you're going to pay me a commission. If not, if you find your buyer, great. No commission. I'll delete the listing. No harm, no foul. So it shows them that that you're flexible and you're not trying to like box them in on anything. Okay. So when it comes to handling these objections, guys, right? So we remember, I'm not going to go through all the stuff about how to handle an objection, but I don't want to pay a commission. I totally understand. That's why sometimes I offer exclusive agency agreements. If you bring the buyer, you keep the savings. If I bring a buyer and you get the exposure and the experience you need, then I get paid, right? I already have buyers interested. I hear that one all the time, guys. I already have buyers interested. I already have. Great. With exclusive agency, you can still sell it to them. That's your buyer, not mine. I just want to make sure you don't miss out on any bigger offers, right? I can sell this myself. You're right. And the real question is, will you net the most money doing so? Solo, or we do better with a professional or investor connections, okay? And when you want to turn these things into appointments, guys, your goal is not to convince them over the phone. You're not like, hey, yeah, let me do it, right? That's not what we're doing. Your goal, right? We're always closing, always be closing, always be closing. But we're not trying to close to getting the listing just yet. I'm closing to try and get into the door. Okay. Hey, can I get a no pressure walkthrough? Can I just come through and see it? See if I can find, like you've already asked them, if I brought you a cash buyer, is that cool? Yeah. Well, can I come by and take a quick look at it? No pressure. I'm not going to bring any paperwork. You don't have to sign anything. But let me just swing by and take a look, and I'll actually bring you some actual numbers, okay? Some things that you can see and the actual listings, the actual sold comps and all of that, and you can decide if you want to stay as a FSBO or if you'd be cool with going traditional or exclusive agency. And once you get into the door, you get to show them all their options. Like, hey, look at this house. Look how the interior of this house looked. Cool. Look at this house. This one was really good. These are all MLS. Hey, look at these rental comps. Maybe you want to rent your thing. So there's a lot of things that you can do when you're talking to these people. But the goal is to be curious, be casual, not try to push them too hard. Okay, so what we're going to do on our thing today, our mission for today, is to find 10 FSBOs. Find 10 of them and make 5 calls and send 5 texts. Okay, track the responses, see what's happening. $100 says you can get an appointment out of that. Like if you were to call these people, follow this recommendation, more than likely you are going to get 2 appointments by the end of the week. It's just kind of the numbers on this thing, guys. And it may not be an appointment where you actually close something, but I bet you can get in the door and start talking to them. And that's how you learn how to be better at selling. That's how you learn how to be better at having these conversations. You got to get in and talk to them, okay? But the whole thing that I really want to put when you're talking to FSBOs is it's not a sales pitch, guys. You're not selling them on your service. You are simply educating them, okay? That's the big goal. And if you want to, like the middle ground here is to offer exclusive agency as kind of the middle ground. That's going to be kind of my last ditch effort, and I'm not opposed to doing that. But you want to position yourself as a partner who protects their options. Hey, look, man, if you think you can do it and make all the money, go for it. I'm not trying to take away from you in any way. I'm just saying if I can bring you a buyer, would you be willing to pay me for that? And that might be a conversation that they're going to have. So you can really get them with that exclusive agency. And, you know, most of the time, those houses are not really kept up all that well. And you'll probably be able to find them a cash buyer that's actually going to pay them more than a wholesaler would. So your call to action for today is go find 10 FSBOs in your market, in that little area that you're at, okay? If it's not right there in your little neighborhood or whatever it is, go a little bit bigger. You can call them. They have their number out there. That's what it's for. You can text if you want to. You can go knock on the door if you want to. Most of them don't really mind. They usually keep their house ready to go. Whatever it takes. But offer them the options. You can stay FSBO. You can go exclusive agency. We can go full MLS. And at least one appointment should come out of calling those 10 FSBOs. I can almost guarantee you. If nothing else, you're going to get an opportunity to go practice and go talk to them. Guys, you've got to call 10 of them. See what happens. You might be surprised. And that is how you handle with FSBOs. And there's a lot of options and a lot of opportunity out there, guys. So get after it. 10 of them today. Do it today.